Sunday morning and welcome back. Coming up on 7:30, I'm Maddie Kurth. Will we see a cool down from the August heat soon? Let's get you over to meteorologist Hannah Gard with your Weather Authority forecast and the answer.
Thanks, Maddie. Cool down is questionable. We are going to see some drier air coming in, though, which will help to beat the heat that we've had around. We've already felt some of that drier air coming in this morning. You can see the dry skies in Bay St. Louis. We're going to have fewer storms over the next 24 hours. We're not going to see as much rain as we did yesterday. Some of those coastal areas and places like Homa saw some pretty good storms. It's going to be drier today. Lower humidity really sinking in by Labor Day, and then through the rest of the week, we'll have temperatures around average, even slightly above average. And then we'll see another front coming down that's going to reinforce the drier air that we have sticking around. Current conditions, though, in the low 70s on the North Shore, which does not feel too bad out the door. Maybe take your morning coffee on the porch, take a walk. We are 75 in Homa, not too bad, but areas just south of the lake where you have that northeasterly wind, like New Orleans International, we are sitting in the low 80s because it's coming off those warmer lake waters. The storms mainly offshore, though, so the positioning of the stationary boundary is what matters to us. That's where the focal point for storm activity is going to be, which is mainly offshore today. Just watching for maybe some of this moisture from the northwest trying to push in. I think we could get some light rain in some areas maybe this evening, but it's not going to be widespread by any means. Most of us staying dry. And the drier air is starting to sink into parts of the North Shore where we're getting dew points in the upper 60s, mid 60s, even farther north in Mississippi and Alabama. But we're going to see the dry air really pushing in. I'm just looking at this cloud cover that starts to pop up late afternoon, early evening on this model. It's sometimes bad at light rain. That's why I think maybe we see a scattered shower or two later today. But again, it's not going to be a soaking rain. Very dry for Monday. We start to see that northerly flow kicking in with the dry dew points falling across the area. Really nice conditions for Labor Day. If anything, we'll have to watch for maybe a coastal storm, but that's just something to watch for those boaters, especially in the morning hours. It looks very dry through Tuesday. The heat comes back. We're going to continue to be pretty hot with our highs, but the lower dew points is what makes for a better feel. 70s today. We get to the 60s tomorrow. This is for the South Shore, so New Orleans International. And then we start to climb again on Wednesday. North Shore areas, you could stick around in those 60s, maybe even 50s a little bit longer through Monday into Tuesday. Our highs bouncing around average. This orange line is our average line, so we're kind of hugging the average temperature. The warmest will be as Thursday up to 92, and then we see another front come through Friday, Saturday, dropping us back down to the upper 80s by the start of next weekend. And I kind of want to show you on water vapor what's happening so you can see the pattern. We have a low up here across the northeast. That's that counterclockwise spin. But there's another part to this low digging down over the Great Lakes. And then there's high pressure over the southwestern U.S. This low pressure kind of just hangs around, which is why the front is not strong. It's not really dropping our temperatures down. And we see another strong low coming across the Great Lakes at the end of the week. Now this I think could bring some drier air again. Not so sure if it's going to bring cooler temperatures because now the modeling is showing this staying a little bit farther to the north. Yesterday it had it moving farther south, so we'll watch for changes with that. We could still get some of that nicer feel. It just might take a little bit longer. Now it's showing the end of next weekend and maybe the start of next week, but definitely going to see some cooler conditions for areas to the north of us. The Great Lakes region, they're getting a nice fall feel. For us, we could be slightly below average and just have that lower humidity. So we'll keep watching for that trend, see if we can get some of that nicer air down to the Gulf Coast. We have a wave that we're tracking off the coast of Africa. This has a low chance of tropical development as it heads out into the main development region. And this is something that we kind of want to watch for this time of year. Anything that heads into the main development region is something to keep an eye on. Looking at the wave right now, lots of thunderstorm activity. It's very broad, low pressure. It is not really close to forming into anything, but as it moves to the west, we'll have a more conducive environment for some slow development. What we'll watch for in the long range, so through the end of the week to the weekend, is what this area of high pressure does. If it weakens, it will tend to take this system a little bit farther north, and we could see it pass north of the Caribbean. But if this system stays weak and doesn't form for a while, we might have to watch that entering the Caribbean. So something to monitor right now. This is more than 12 days out from any potential U.S. land impacts. But you can see that in September, anything coming off the coast of Africa typically will try to track to the north of the Caribbean. So that's what we will watch for, the trends on that wave. Gabrielle is the next name on the list for our storms, but hopefully we don't see anything come of that. We will keep watching it. The week ahead, though, really not much happening. We have barely any rain chances, Maddie. I think we're not going to get any soaking rain again through the extended forecast. We could see a couple of scattered showers here and there, and watching for some storms along the coast, but mainly that drier air, once it fully sinks in tomorrow, it doesn't really return to an incredibly humid day all the way through the week. I think we see a slow return in humidity through Thursday, and then that second front comes through and brings right back around that nice drier air.
That may just be the best news about this forecast.
Yes.
It's like, even if it's just a slightly cool morning, I'll still take it better than sweating.
Well, and the lower humidity helps our mornings cool off more, because the dew point is typically the bottom threshold of where those lows can fall to. So if we have drier air, then it allows it to be a little bit cooler in the mornings.
We're in for a treat.
Yep.
All righty, thank you, Hannah. Here's some more good news.